Okay, we're out here filming in my living room. My first memory card decided to shit the bed, so I'm trying a different memory card, and let's just hope that this one works. We're filming in the living room because the library is currently in use, but Adam is off screen here, so if you hear noises, it's him, or pets, or we're haunted. Could be anything. So most of you know that every year I do a video talking about my favorite and least favorite books of the year. And that's gonna be really tough this year because everything was so average. I was looking back through and there's so many 3 stars. Like everything was fine. Nothing was exceptional and a few things were kind of eh. So I'm gonna do my best to bring you my favorites and least favorites, but this year's gonna be tough.
Reality is often disappointing.
Look, I feel like today's authors need to start working harder to impress me. I'm just saying. Got my tablet, Guilty Spark here. Let's go to my Goodreads. We may be about to be blessed by a rare visit from Georgiou. She's really not into being filmed or having her picture taken. She's a very camera-shy cat. We'll see. Maybe she will bless us with her presence. One of my first reads of the year was actually... It got 4 stars, which I'm counting at this point, because I don't think I had a single 5-star read this year. And it was One by One by Ruth Ware. It is a thriller story. It is my favorite type of thriller, which is the closed circle. This sort of thriller where everybody's trapped somewhere, they have no contact with the outside, and somebody's been murdered.
Is he alive? Mr. Body.
And this one did, apparently, a pretty good job. I don't remember much about it because I read it in January of 2021. It was set in a ski resort that got snowed in, and it was a bunch of people who worked for like a tech company that had developed this weird little app, and obviously one of them got murdered, and we're trying to figure out who, and I had my theories, and while the characters weren't amazing, they were better than a lot of these books do that tend to rely just heavily on archetypes and having very flat characters in favor of the plot being the main focus of the story, and this one was a little bit more character focused, and I think that's what really drew me into it. But next we just have just a bunch of 3 stars. I DNF'd The Lost Village, just couldn't get into it. The writing style, no. I gave 4 stars to Monstrous Regiment by Terry Pratchett. I do have a review of that one. I have a review of most of the ones that I'm probably going to talk about, so go check them out if you want further thoughts. I gave 4 stars to Dread Nation. I don't know if I would do that again. I might actually have pulled it back to 3 stars. Maybe the sequel is coloring my opinion, but a couple of 2 stars, and then my first 1 star was The Program, which you all remember that we did a read-along of, and it was such a terrible book, and I just wonder how it got published. But you can watch us tear it apart. There's a read-along. It's a good time. Go check it out. I gave 1 star to The Project. I do have a review of that one that you can go check out. It is, again, kind of a thriller. Not really. I think it was kind of advertised as a thriller, but it's not. But there's a cult in it, and I got really excited because I love culty stories. So the main character is going to check out this cult where she last saw her estranged sister. This began my trend of reading books with missing sisters in them. And the trend continues to this day. The book just, the writing, the plotting especially was just not there. The characterization was not there, and the ending definitely knocked it down to 1 star. I think I was maybe gonna give it 2 just for the culty aspect, but the ending, and if you want to find out more about that, definitely go check out the review. Wow. Wow. I didn't think you could fuck up an ending that badly and still get professionally published, but here we are. My next 1 star, and we are already into November of this year. That's how just interesting, like how average all of my reads were. I didn't read a ton in 2021, and the ones that I did were just like 3 stars. All the way down the line, just like average, 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 average. Nothing huge to report, nothing terrible to report. I do have book reviews of quite a few of them though, so feel free to check them out. I will give deeper thoughts in the process, but my next 1 star is Into the Drowning Deep, which I reviewed very recently. So it's got mermaids in it, and they're killer mermaids, so you think, yes, that's gonna be a plus. But then you realize that the characters are all shit. And I hate them, and not in a fun way. That was a big old disappointment. People did enjoy me ripping that book apart, though, in my review, so at least there's that. And that's pretty much it. Like, I don't know. Should I even publish this video? Yes, I should, because I need the content, but I feel like it's going to be very disappointing for people. I tried to do my usual in December where I read indie books in December, but I started an indie book that I DNF'd it pretty quickly because the writing just wasn't there for me, and I just kind of gave up after that. I was using a website that someone had made, which was really good because it just had a whole bunch of indie books with their synopses and everything, and it would also tell you if it was an audiobook, so it was great because I pretty much exclusively listen to audiobooks now. And that site is no longer being hosted, so I had to just like do my own searching on Goodreads with listicles and stuff like that, and it was really difficult. Anytime I found one that I thought, hey, this looks interesting, and the blurb is well written, so maybe the book is well written, no audiobook. And I'm like, I have to have an audiobook. I just don't have time to read. So I ended up with no more indie books for my in December. If you want to know the book that I DNF'd, it was Queen of Swords and Silence. It had a really interesting concept, but the writing itself, the craft, was just not there for me. And I'm not going to say it was because it's an indie book, because a lot of people want to be like, well, if it was traditionally published, then it would have been good. And I'm like, I've read enough traditionally published books that I am no longer convinced that that is true. It was sort of almost a little bit American Gods-ish in that like all mythologies were true. The main character was from the Norse side of things, but she was getting into it with some Celtic mythology, with some Christian, like all of this stuff. And the concepts were cool, but the craft wasn't there. Let me see what I said in my little review of it. I do a review when I DNF, I just don't rate it when I DNF. It reads extremely amateur, and there's a lot of forced dialogue that's obviously trying too hard to be clever and quippy. There's a ton of filtering through the whole book. Her eyes saw the thing. She grabbed the thing with her hand, when you could/should just say she saw the thing, she grabbed the thing. Overall, I think the author just needs more practice. I like their ideas, but their craft can't keep up. There are a ton of plot points right away, and a lot going on with the main character who is a literal monster who consumes human organs to live, and that drew me in right away. I wanted to see that explored, and that was the best handled part. But there is a lot of other stuff going on in this world while mythology is real, and it just isn't working for me. Again, mostly down to the craft itself being so noticeably crunchy. So that's what I thought of that one. Felt bad DNFing it, but hey, the author still got my money, so that's the important part. But yeah, that was my year of reading. I really hope that next year, that 2022, I can find some books to really enjoy instead of just everything being so lackluster and average. But what about your reading year? How was your reading year? Were you in a slump kind of like me? I also didn't read as much as I normally do. Maybe you had a great year. And what were some of your favorite books of the year, and would I like them? I hope you're surviving out there. I hope you're staying strong. I hope you're getting vaccinated. I'm vaxxed, I'm boosted, I'm ready to rule the world. If you liked what you saw here, I have lots of other videos on this channel, including all of those book reviews that I mentioned where I go a lot more in depth about all of these books and other ones that I did not talk about in this video. Also, you can pop over to my Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive content never seen here on the regular channel. So that's exciting. Plus, you help me publish my own books. So that's cool, right? She's here. We are truly blessed. It's Georgiou. She's here. Best day ever. She's just like, she's not a lap cat, so she usually doesn't hang out with me for very long, but she's here. Let me say hi, people. Hi, people. Hi, people. It's Georgiou. No, she's purring so loud. Yes. I would kiss her, but I would get lipstick on the cat. So we're not gonna give her smooches. If you would like a book that has a chance to be maybe your next 5-star read, you can check out my book, The Wolf and the Hawk, available now on Amazon. And Georgiou and I will see you next time with whatever it is we happen to be doing next time. Bye! Say bye, Georgiou. Wag your tail. There you go. She says bye.
I'm as poor as a church mouse that's just had an enormous tax bill on the very day his wife ran off with another mouse, taking all the cheese.
Well, thank goodness I have patrons. Patrons like Swamp Goblin Waifu, Ashley, Sophia, Merween, Kit, Hinglade, Persephone, Light Julie, Anna, Belle, and Sophie, Callison, Ray, Shelby, Zaire, Jesper, Irene, Scribbling Cat, Savvy, Jenny, Amanda, Lisa, Sarah, and Lennox. Thanks again for all your support, everyone. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang